Singaporeans who buy public housing in some prime locations like the city centre will have to stay for at least 10 years. Now, that's twice as long as the usual minimum occupation period. At least one project will be launched each year under the new public housing model. Natasha Raza with details.
The pilot project under the prime location public housing model will be launched here at Rochor next month, with almost 1,000 3- and 4-room flats. Buyers will get to stay right next to an MRT station in the city fringes. To keep prices affordable, they'll get more subsidies than usual. Those who later sell their homes, though, will have to pay a percentage of the resale price to the housing board so it can recover these subsidies. Homeowners will also have to meet stricter criteria, even if they're buying on the resale market. For a start, at least one applicant must be Singaporean, while regular flats are open to permanent residents. Singles have to be living with their family, even though those aged 35 and up can usually buy a resale unit themselves. Household income must not exceed $14,000. Those owning private property in the past 30 months will also not be eligible.
In a bid to be more inclusive, the proportion of flats set aside for applicants whose parents or children live nearby will also be reduced from the usual 30% for first-timers, for instance. This could give less well-off families a better chance to move into prime locations.
Buyers can sell the unit or invest in private property only after 10 years. They'll not be allowed to rent out the whole flat at any point. The resale restrictions will be in place for at least 49 years before the authorities look into reviewing them.
These policies will help to strengthen the owner-occupation intent of public housing and also seek to deter speculative demand and moderate resale prices. Now, where these conditions create difficulties for those who genuinely face extenuating circumstances, we can review their appeals on a case-by-case basis.
An observer says the restrictions will dissuade those buying for investment purposes. He says plans to have 40 rental units integrated within the project in a move aimed at keeping public housing inclusive could also limit room for capital appreciation.
Generally, there's still this perception and stigma against rental flats occupiers. For the initial phase, we are not likely to see that, that kind of buyers coming in that are willing to throw $1 million for the flats. Is very unlikely. So because they have certain expectations and certain perception, but over time, this may change.
Dr. Lee says homeowners planning to upgrade will also find the clawback of subsidies unappealing. So those who do buy a home are likely to be staying for the long term.
One analyst says the new housing pilot could rejuvenate the Rochor area, an older estate with HDB flats that were mostly built in the 1970s. This, in turn, could drum up buyer interest in the neighbourhood.
We can also expect maybe more amenities, maybe retail shops, childcare centres to be set up and so on, along with this development. When all these amenities are going to be completed, then in a way, it may uplift the value of surrounding properties.
MP of the ward, Denise Phua, told CNA the new housing project means more communal facilities for residents living in the older blocks. She says there will also be a better mix of residents from different backgrounds, with rental units being offered. More details will be announced at the launch next month.